I toss this back up on YouTube and Twitch so people can rewatch this. For those just joining in, we are going to be taking a look at NVDA earnings in just a second. And you know what? Maybe we're going to scroll through their financials once they get posted, Rylar? Oh, he's got a work call. All right. Well, while he's gone, I'll entertain you for the next couple minutes until all the data gets posted. Are you guys looking for the Twitch or YouTube here? Let me get that for you. It's just YouTube at or WSB verse at YouTube. So here we go in the comments for you guys. Oh, Ryler's back. Let's see. I'd love to hear if people in the audience are holding are long or short NVIDIA. Ooh. Maybe I can one day is long. ASVPHK is super long. Blazing Dragon also long. Are you guys all long? Holy crap. $450, $460, $500 calls for September 5th. You know, those are pretty far out. You got time. Although the premium on those must have been really high. Below this throwaway's got NVIDIA calls at 510. But Deadly Secret's holding SQQQ, okay? Put your house on margin to short NVIDIA. Desmond, what are you talking about? Why would you short? Actually, let me wait until earnings are out to say that. Let's see. I think TradingView is up to date. Yeah. I don't know, it's pretty neat. We had a super green day today. I think we closed it up. Can we get a motivational speech? How do you want me to motivate you? Okay. Semiconductor chips are what underlies and powers the global economy. Everyone uses semiconductor chips. Sometimes they don't even realize it. Whether it's your car, your computer, or your vibrator. Semiconductor chips are the future. And now, with AI, all of these devices can be AI powered. So, who stands the best to gain? Clearly, NVIDIA. So, you're already set. Everyone here is long. Hopefully the next couple minutes are happy ones for everyone. We're watching the price live. Not sure if Rylar's price is updating live, but I'm seeing 472.27 in post-market, fluctuating around 25 basis points above where it closed, and it was quite green today, up 3.17%. So here we go. Morning, Napalm. I mean, afternoon, Napalm. God damn it.
Hello.
Hello.
What was the bet that was made? Because I made a bet with somebody, or like it was like I think it was Pin. I made a bet on something about doing Bed Bath and Beyond or something. I don't know, for a DD. We might have to figure that one out later. When does the earnings call start?
45 minutes.
Should be 5 o'clock. So we've got quite a bit of time. People were requesting we start early, so we're like 45 minutes early.
Yeah, there was like a bunch of people already here complaining about the waiting music.
Are you serious?
There's like 20 people here already. Now there's 80.
Oh, by the way, if you've got positions and you want to come up here and cry or laugh about NVIDIA, feel free to raise your hand or just say something in chat. We'll invite you up, and we can all cry together.
Well, yeah, that's what I figured we were all going to do. That's why I'm here, is because we're going to all cry together. It's group therapy.
That's really what the core of WallStreetBets is, you know? Rylar, I'm not sure if your chart is updating in real time. Here's what I'm looking at, TradingView.
Do you want to? Oh, maybe I'll click on your link.
And now we wait. This is like pretty much all of trading, just waiting around. So
How was your day today, Opinion?
it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Got a lot of work done, so it's nice to kick back and relax temporarily before going back and doing more work.
It's the wrong house.
Well, who knows? Maybe NVIDIA hits $800 today, and I don't have to work anymore.
We're all gonna cry.
I'm gonna cry. WallStreetBets is already all set up. I'm inviting a couple people up here. Predator.
Hello, good morning. 4:16 a.m. Howdy.
It's what?
4:16 a.m. Taiwan time. What's up?
Oh, okay, you're in Taiwan. Okay.
I'm
Are you?
myself.
Yeah.
Well, good morning, Predator.
Howdy.
No, this is not fun. I'm not loving this. Like,
So, can someone give me the sit rep on what's going on? For real.
Are you short? Predator?
Reuters.
yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, I'm in Taiwan time. It's 4:17. We're looking at what NVIDIA earnings are making for this market in the U.S. AI, supercomputer based in Taipei. How are we looking?
I mean,
I don't know. I'm currently at work.
NVIDIA is a California company.
I scream just like server mute me.
Yeah, and Apple's an island company. So here's the sit rep. We're looking at reporting at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yep.
Beat or break? How many of you bet against beat or break? 40
I'm
minutes
betting
until the bell.
Am I echoing?
No.
Facts.
Okay.
I'm just
Opinion is a little bit. His mic is kind of weird. It's kind of like scald.
Oh shoot! Thanks for letting me know. I'll mute up when I'm not speaking. LARP. I'm spending like 90% of my brain energy just trying to figure out what you're saying. I don't know if that's the same for anyone
So
else.
we have the NVIDIA processor company based in Taipei, Taiwan, benefit of TSMC, reporting earnings on August 23rd, 2023. Newly founded AI interface. How are earnings looking?
I'm praying
Like,
right
so,
now.
like,
I'm just.
Beat or break?
I need to beat.
so what I can say, from my opinion, what do you mean by be or break?
Did NVIDIA beat earnings or did they break earnings?
Earnings haven't come out yet, bozo.
You'll know when you hear me scream or cheer. That's gonna be the
Yeah.
call.
You can tell by the chat scrolling in 1,000,000 times per second when it comes out.
Yeah.
Absolute factual
Wait, what's
information.
on the top left?
Can
It
we
should
get a
be 1
poll
minute.
going for
They said
beat
20
or
pass,
break?
right?
Oh wait, this?
20 pass.
They'll release it on their website,
I
right?
thought it's already on the.
It's
Yeah, it
always
should be on
slow.
the
Yes, sir.
website, or it's going to be on this SEC Edgar site.
Okay.
Edgar has reportings at least an hour prior.
Well, then get on the Edgar site, boys.
SEC
Are you
filing.
guys shorting Are you shorting Nvidia, or you're taking like long positions on it?
So Cherry,
No one.
chat is like super
No
long
comment.
on AMD. I mean NVIDIA. Sorry.
What am I doing wrong with the chart?
I mean, it
Oh,
just
the 1
doesn't
second?
make sense.
Sorry, the
Oh,
chat
God.
was moving too fast.
What am I supposed to look under? AKs?
All right, chat, let's take a pause in a moment for
I
a
don't
minute.
have trading view.
Let's take our mods and say thank you for all that they have done for the community. Resources and time are not free. Please say thank you to our mods.
Thank you,
If you're
mods.
All right. Thank you, LARP. Gonna let you
Oh wait, Pay, do you
take
want
a
to
little break.
stream this since I don't have access to the 1 second chart?
Oh, you don't? I mean, no, don't do the 1 second.
Oh God! Fuck yes!
Nothing's
Woo!
happening. What?
They won! Holy shit! I don't know the numbers, but holy fuck! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Oh, there we go.
Oh my god. I'm so sorry for your ears. I'm so sorry for your ears. Oh my god. Thank you.
Wait,
Thank you.
NVIDIA beat earnings?
Is this in real time?
Wait, what? Why is it going down?
What's
Oh,
going
shit.
down?
It happened last time, dude. It dipped a bit before going in. What was the
It
guidance?
spiked up to 500.
What was the
Yeah,
guidance?
I think they beat. I'm checking your website
Somebody
right now.
post the guidance for next quarter.
Wait, it's on the website. What the hell? Wait, how the hell is CNC?
Wait, they released it. What are you guys looking at? The guidance?
Where'd they release it? CNBC has it.
I don't know.
Holy shit, they beat by 2 billion?
Of course they beat. I don't know why people didn't believe me when I say I did the DD on this. Just question of how much.
Oh, yes. Thank God.
Dude, I was literally counting fucking wafers.
I'm so sorry for your ears, but yeah, I'm very sorry to anyone. I did kind of not gave a half-hearted disclosure, but sorry for your ears. But
What
if you had
happened? What
calls,
happened?
they
What
beat,
happened?
they
What's
beat.
going on?
Oh,
All right,
wow.
so
The earnings, bro, by 2 billion.
The earnings went up by 2
Oh
billion?
my God, NVIDIA. Yes.
I want to hear from the
Yeah.
guy who had $450, $500 calls on NVIDIA, because those are all in the money now.
I sold my
loaded.
600 calls because I didn't think it would hit, but probably sold it early.
Everyone in chat is like, just won the lottery.
Third quarter revenue, 16 billion is the guidance. Also, they're going to repurchase 25 billion shares.
Holy shit.
This is going to go nuts. Give it a little time. It's going to go to like 520, 530 minimum.
All right, the 8K is out on CEDAR. I'm going to post a link in the comments. You guys can take a look at it.
Oh, well, fuck it. I lost 100 grand.
You what?
Nothing.
Could have sworn you just said you lost 100 grand.
So,
You had puts?
no, I actually shorted it without puts, funnily enough.
I got everything. I got shares, I got covered calls, and I got calls. I got NVDA, which is like the cover call ETF. Just in case it doesn't move enough.
All right, there we go. Rylar's pulled up the filing for NVIDIA. And there you go, record revenue, $13.5 billion, up 88%.
That is
from Q1.
crazy. Dude, this is it beat what I was expecting. I was expecting maybe 2.3, 2.4 EPS. This is crazy. Beat by $2.5 billion.
EPS?
My assumption was it's 2.7. The estimate was 2.07. So, but I was assuming they were selling these cards for about 30,000. That's like what NVIDIA was getting, but apparently they're getting about 40, maybe even more. They raised the price, but it's one of those enterprise products where you literally can't know the price. You have to contact NVIDIA and talk to a sales rep and answer a bunch of questions before they let you know. So it's really hard to know like how much they're actually selling for. It's not like one of those normal products you can just go on, Amazon.
Yeah, I mean, NVIDIA is basically hit with the perfect storm where all these big, very well-funded startups have pretty much blank checks from their VCs to, buy compute so that they can run all of this, train their AI, LLMs and whatnot. And those guys are all chasing the IPO bag, but in the process of doing that, they're handing over absolutely tons of money to NVIDIA. And it's basically, a game where supply is extremely constrained and NVIDIA kind of controls it all. So, or controls the best of the best. So this is the culmination of how many years of research and development? NVIDIA was investing in, and Jensen was investing in AI stuff like many, many years ago before anyone else saw this. And CUDA as well. So Rylar, what are we looking at?
550, 500 calls, bro. Them 550s, boy. We're gonna be up. Ooh-wee.
What was that?
Jumping in yesterday on that video was the best decision I made in my life, boys.
How much money y'all made from it?
Well, today, right now, I'm up good, real nice. But tomorrow, bro, even better, bro. They beat our earnings, bro. I'm gonna shit the bed tomorrow when I wake up. Throw it away, give it to a homeless person with my shit on the bed, and be satisfied.
So I guess the S&P 500 rally is still going to continue.
Will NVIDIA actually beat earnings at 5 p.m.? Is that a matter of fact? Or are we just on speculation here?
Well, I think they already did. We're just
I already did. The earnings call is just
Oh,
puffery.
if you beat on guidance, is that necessarily beating on earnings?
They beat earnings,
I'm in
guidance, everything.
What?
Like what
I
part
mean, I'm
did
in
they not
Taiwan.
beat?
I'm 20 minutes down the road from their AI. Is that actually factual?
They're not in Taiwan. I don't know why you think they're in Taiwan.
Yeah, where are you getting that from?
They're for sure in Taiwan. I don't know what you are discrepant. I don't know what you're discretionary about.
They design it in California.
Their offices are in California, dude.
Okay, offices doesn't mean they're producing in California.
They
Is
don't
there a
produce
production
shit.
plant in California? They produce a lot of shit, is what you're
NVIDIA
missing.
literally produces nothing.
NVIDIA produces a lot of stuff for MSI, Asus.
No, MSI
S&P.
produces for NVIDIA. You don't
Okay,
know the
and
process.
who owns the production measure? I for sure know the
MSI
process.
owns it, dude.
Who owns MSI?
MSI, the company, owns themselves?
False. Look
So
up who owns
2.7.
Microsystems Incorporated.
It's a public company.
It's a public company, and where is it
by
based out
themselves.
of? Owned by who?
Themselves.
So you're telling me Nvidia beat by 8%?
What the fuck are
Oh
you
my
talking
god. LARP, can you read the filing that is literally on the screen right now?
I am
Rylar?
looking at the S9. Don't tell me no bullshit. I'm looking at this factual information right here. This
I mean,
has
you're
been
right.
public information since Taiwan time 8 a.m. yesterday.
The chips are being made in Taiwan. They're being made by TSMC. NVIDIA, outsources that to them. NVIDIA is fabless. So why are you saying that they beat by 8%?
Yeah, I don't even know where they get the number from.
Okay, so let's draw down. No animosity. It's not a matter of stock price. It's not a matter of earnings report. It's a matter of actual informing the public. Okay.
Everyone knows.
Okay.
You're the only one who doesn't.
No,
Oh, wait,
everyone
Larp.
knows. Everyone.
Larp, are you just saying that it's up 8% in after hours because of earnings? Is that what you're trying to say?
So let's draw down and let's not understand that people do not understand the actual motive behind why it's up 8%. Okay? Some
All right,
people
walk us
are
through it.
placing their bet. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, walk us through it. Why is it up?
So why is it up? So if we look at this, what is this, an S9 or is this an S7? NVIDIA announces financial results for the financial quarter of fiscal 2024. On August 23rd, 2023, they announced a report that earnings were up by earnings per share of $2.70 per share. Right? Am I mistaken? Ryler, am I mistaken?
Just continue, LARP.
Wait, so basically the earnings release has been released, so there's nothing else.
Yeah, so we're just waiting for
Absolutely, the
earnings call.
earning has been released. So, when we're taking an effect of due diligence, is this like we're trying to inform the public rather, which is our community of WSB? Is it going to be up 8% in the morning?
LARP. What?
What?
What? Dude,
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm literally 20 minutes from the Songshan distribution center. You can't tell me nothing. I know about
NVIDIA
it.
is not in Taiwan, just so you know.
Hold on.
You
No,
cannot
here's
tell
what-
me that. NVIDIA is based in Taiwan.
No, it's
NVIDIA,
not. It's a
AMD,
California
TSMC,
let me
California
explain.
company. Okay, so
Hey, I read like the fucking financials. I read the fucking 10K and 10Q of NVIDIA. They have their fucking what do we call it? They said they outsource their production to Taiwan Semiconductor Company, and then the entire design. NVIDIA just designs and creates processors, but they send it to Taiwan Semiconductor Company to be able to produce it. That's what they do. They
Yeah.
outsource
So
them. That's all they do.
breathe
So-
for an actual second and use your logic here. If NVIDIA outsources their production to
Yes.
Taiwan Semi, which is TSMC,
You're
ticker
right.
symbol TSM, where is
Yes.
that chip being produced?
That
Well,
doesn't
produced
matter
in
because
Taiwan.
NVIDIA is not in Taiwan.
Pause.
That's like saying fucking
Pause.
GM is in Africa because that's where the iron is mined.
Let us use another
Pause,
example.
pause. You have
Dude,
never
let me
seen.
explain to
You
you.
have
Let me
never
explain to you
seen.
what the NVIDIA
I don't need you to
actual
explain. I'm
process
literally.
is because you obviously don't know.
All right.
Okay, so
Hold
this
on,
is
hold
how
on,
it
hold
actually
on,
works.
hold on. Whoever's speaking right now, you got like 30 seconds, and then.
All right.
Well.
So the process is they designed the chips based on TSMC fab technology, and then they basically give TSMC the licenses to make the chips on like a giant wafer, and then TSMC makes it, cuts it into little pieces, and then they send that to like a add-on board manufacturer like MSI, like what's it called, Gigabyte and stuff like that. And those companies take the chips and make the actual GPU, put the fan on, put the heat sinks, put the memory, all that stuff, according to NVIDIA's design. They can tweak it a little bit if they want. NVIDIA has like never touches any of the products. They literally don't touch anything. They collect licensing fees basically.
Yeah, basically
They
they
set prices
design
and they collect licensing fees. Yeah.
the type of the chip
Hold
they
up,
make
hold
it,
up.
but in the end, TSMC helps.
Hold up. Okay, now LARP, your chance to respond.
Pause. Are you there?
Yes. go
Copy.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're just gonna kick me whenever I'm giving you factual information on the basis
shut
of a
up and talk.
factual silicon.
Say your facts.
Shut up and talk, man. You better learn to respect yours. What I'm telling you is,
I mean, I was like, bro.
I didn't even kick him. So if he wants to leave, then all right. I
don't even know where to
This
go
is some
from here.
big Sarah Palin. I can see Russia from my house vibes.
I mean, hey, NVIDIA beat earnings. I'm making money. That's all I'm caring about right now.
all right, guys.
hello.
Do not kick LARP. Hear what he has to say.
Yeah, have
And when
some
it's your turn,
some decency. I'm literally telling you market information, and you're gonna kick me on the basis that you think you know more than me.
No, just go. Just stop wasting our time and say something. Please.
435. You don't got fucking shit else to do but learn about fucking NVIDIA. You don't got shit else to learn about fucking TSMC. Don't
This
kick
is
me
like
about
a
this
sixth
bullshit.
grader
You're gonna be
lecturing in college.
oh my god, dude. You need a fucking
This guy, he doesn't know anything about the company, dude. He's reading an earnings report, thinking.
Hey, look, we gave him ample time to talk. He decided to use it to just say the same thing over and over and go into the meta for whatever reason. So he can move on from that. They're pretty funny, and it's like Journalist 2.0. Exactly, Nev Stamp. Exactly like Journalist 2.0. Maybe he's back
You
with
want to
a
know
voice
something
changer.
funny? Do you
I'd
want to
say
know
Journalist
something
better,
funny?
though.
I just short sold like 100K, but the funny thing is that it's all paper money. It's not even real money. I don't even short sell with.
All right, you get muted too. We don't do paper trading here. Talking about what are you
So
saying?
let's talk about. I think pricing. I think the big surprise is pricing. I don't think they produced more than expected, because the TSMC's like the production line is fixed. They can't, like, for the rest of the year. There's no capacity to produce more. So they must have raised prices. That's the only thing I can think of.
The one thing that I find interesting about TSMC is that, because I went through before, like earlier today, I went through their earnings report of their latest quarter, and their thesis for like how they do business is actually kind of interesting, because they'll sell you the same product for $1,000 or hundreds of dollars, while you can turn around and sell it for like 50 grand, and they're completely fine with that. And in terms, I mean, I don't know, I may just be stupid, but it's kind of interesting, a way to do business, because they know you can always produce the
Yeah.
good stuff for the same price, regardless of whatever you sell it at.
So the reason for that is TSMC does have competitors. People laugh at Intel, but Intel fabs do exist.
Yeah.
And Samsung 4 nanometer process is very close to TSMC in capability, but they have yield problems. As in, like when you produce like a big wafer, it's like the size of your torso. There's bad sectors on there, and like so, there's just what percentage of that big wafer can you actually use? So Samsung fabs have yield problems. So they have yield problems. They can't make enough and all that stuff. But so if TSMC starts jacking up prices and doing wild shit like that, people will switch. Apple and NVIDIA and AMD will switch.
The CHIPS Act as well, that was enacted last year, I think, is
Yeah.
really going to bring a lot of manufacturing into the U.S. as far as foundries are concerned as well.
Yeah, I know the big one is TSMC's plant outside of Phoenix, I believe.
Yeah, they're having hiring problems. Like the factory's done, but they can't find the labor.
They have water problems too. Don't they need water to produce those chips?
Yeah, lots.
Yeah,
Out of all the places you picked Arizona.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I understand.
They got the best tax incentives in Arizona, I'm assuming.
I mean, I would think Texas would be better. Wouldn't
It's
it?
usually like a property tax or corporate tax break or something like that.
Yeah.
They picked Arizona. I don't know why the fuck.
The other thing is, like, I'm sure NVIDIA is attempting to get chips pumped out at max capacity already, just because demand is so incredibly high in the tech sector.
Yeah, I mean, it's been posted a few times, the rumor that they seized all 40 series production. So the 40 series chips are on the same wafer technology as the AI chips.
Yep.
So you literally print a different chip on there, the same wafer. But I'm assuming there's you gotta switch the production, and it takes time to switch the machinery. There's contract minimums and stuff like that with TSMC, so it's not like an instant, click a button, print a different thing.
Right.
But
yeah,
some of it must have been able to switch. Otherwise, you can't beat by 20. That's a big beat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
TSMC probably isn't going to have that huge of an increase, just because if they're already printing at max capacity, because NVIDIA forecasts more doesn't mean they'll be able to keep up necessarily. So.
And also, 4 nanometer, the enhanced 4 nanometer process is only maybe 1-2% of TSMC's output.
Right.
So it's not a big part. Like even if they like double the price they charge NVIDIA, it's not going to affect their bottom line much. Like 99% of their chips go to mobile phones. It goes to like computer chips and stuff for regular desktop computers and servers and stuff like that. It doesn't go to AI. I think something like by surface area, like chips have a die size like 100 millimeters or whatever. By surface area, Apple buys 25 times more chips than NVIDIA, or something like that. It's just some crazy number, just because they sell so many phones, right?
854% earnings surge. I just saw that. That is new.
They beat by 25%. Revenue by 20%.
100%. No, 100% revenue year over year beat. 88% revenue.
Their own estimate.
More stupid. 16 billion.
How do you data center revenue is 10.3 instead of 8? That is like that's like a 35% beat.
Where is all this coming from? You see, Xpeng is mentioned too.
They must have raised prices. So the H100 was $30,000 end of last year. Nobody has an actual data point for what it is now. No, it's like proprietary information or something. The buyers won't tell. NVIDIA won't tell. I don't know. Maybe it's like different for every buyer too. So maybe 40K now, or even 45. There's rumors like in China they're selling for like 70, 80,000 smuggled into China.
Well, yeah, because they can't get it.
Yeah,
normally.
they go through Singapore with like some shell company and shit.
Actually, would agree that it would probably be different for every buyer. Because if
Yeah.
like Microsoft's going to come in and buy like not 100,000, but like 10,000 or some like stupid ass number, they're gonna kind of cut the price a little bit to get them a better deal to make the negotiations go smoother, probably.
Well, at this point, I don't think they don't even cut the price. You just get into the front of the line, right? They're booked out until second half of 2024. They're like it's August now, so it's 10 months of production that's booked out. And so like they're deciding who, and all these startups are time sensitive, right? They're racing to market for their specific niche, whatever AI. So you can't be sitting around waiting a year for the hardware. So NVIDIA's like just deciding who gets what. It's like they're just picking the winners.
Well, it's who will overpay the most because they'll start upping prices if everyone's bidding
Yeah,
on it.
I mean but it's not like an auction, right? They don't like go bid. So it's like they negotiated every contract.
I'm gonna be honest. I think AI is like overhyped to some extent.
It's hard to say.
I know, but
that's difficult to claim that, bro. AI is
hard.
definitely
It's hard.
It's hard.
It's the new internet. It's like the new, bro. That shit. I don't know.
It's the first big productivity increase
wrong.
we've had in like 20 years.
I think it'll take a while for it to be usable. I don't know. It's gonna take a while, but I think like as of now, it's definitely overhyped.
What's actually surprising? Gaming revenue beat a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a little bit. Not much, but like 5% or something.
Do you think that's because I expected it to drop?
Yeah, everyone's like, nobody's buying all these news. Is like, yeah, they have massive stockpiles. Nobody's buying them. One person showed up to buy the 4060, whatever, but they still beat a little bit.
Like I have a 3090 and it's plenty fine. Like
I just bought a 4090. Well, because I want to play Cyberpunk. Like with ray tracing on and all that shit, you can't get like more than 60 FPS on what I had.
Yeah,
I had a 3080.
Yeah, sorry, you go.
Do you think partly that actually increase with gaming revenue is because companies would start buying like 40 series to kind of make up for some loss? Not like data center shit, but
they crippled the 40 series. Like they intentionally crippled the 4090, so you can't link up more than like 4 to run an AI model. And so you don't have enough RAM. You literally can't run a large model on the 4090 because you can't link up enough of them to run it. It's like really shitty what they do. NVIDIA is like, people shit on NVIDIA for all these anti-consumer, anti-practices, and it's all true. Like they do all this, but they still have a massive monopoly, and you have literally no choice. So,
God, I love NVIDIA.
It's like your cable company. You know, remember that South Park where you try to cancel cable and they like rub their nipples and shit?
That's like
It's like that. That's fucking NVIDIA. Oh, you want to buy an AI card? Right? I mean, their build material, a 4090 cost them maybe $800, give or take, to make build materials, and the H100 cost them about $3,000. But the 4090 only charges it's only $1,500, and the H100 is $40,000. Right? It's
For good reason.
30 times the price for
it is
4 times the material cost.
It is for a good reason though, and pure demand, because it's also
Yeah.
dealing with companies and consumers.
But
Those
that's
are
why
two different
all the
things.
other companies are just racing and trying to make their own. But
But they can't
Tesla made their
without
own, Amazon made their own. Nobody's using them.
I'm a software engineer for a pharmaceutical data company, and like my company is very invested in trying to utilize AI. So
Yeah.
it's definitely. I don't know, honestly, based on our tech stack, I don't know if it'll be that useful or beneficial, but I'm just a little guy, so I'm not allowed to say.
I think even if it's not useful for like tech work, it's very good for just general office bullshit.
True.
Yeah, just like 10 million office emails you have to send, stuff like that. It's a little bit like having a personal assistant. Like instead of spending the time to write a professional email, professional whatever presentation, you can just send some prompts and pick from a list. Yeah, it's kind of like having a personal assistant, basically.
It's way better than a personal assistant because it saves so much time and time's everything.
Yeah, LLMs do save a lot of time, but yeah, outside of it being like a mini personal assistant, as of now, it's not incredibly useful. Like, I save a lot of programming time with it for sure. Like I can definitely I stand up usually around noonish, and then like in the 3 hours, like 9 till noon, I can easily get like my day's work done in that time.
We're having a labor shortage, so.
True. So yeah.
I was about to say, Ryler, are you gonna like put your full name
Yeah,
on there?
I'm gonna have to turn the stream off for a second so I can turn the thing on.
If you put like John on there, I was about to say, Ryler, you're about to dox yourself.
I'm curious about whether they open up their own foundries at some point.
No. 0 chance. So they will never compete with their supplier.
And TSMC is good. They've got a good relationship.
It's not that profitable business.
Sure.
Foundries. It's like it takes a lot of money and tech and effort.
Yeah, I'm just like thinking government subsidies are so big in it right now that maybe it could be worth it.
Going nuts, but
yeah,
Intel can't deliver, man.
How big can NVIDIA go if the supply is limited and like the price now already is really huge?
Pay for it. That's how high they
So
can go.
TSMC is bringing more production online next year. So it really depends on how fast TSMC can ramp up. The Arizona factory is supposed to start next year, but they're having hiring issues, so they said they were going to do like a low volume initial run of like 100K or something like that. But the factory's done. They just need to get started on it. Actually production.
I mean, they have their chips booked out for like a year almost, so.
Yeah, the 4 nanometer NVIDIA's booked everything. The 3 nanometer Apple booked everything for the first year. So I guess the next iPhone 16 or whatever, it's going to use the 3 nanometer process.
Like their earnings are pretty established for at least the next year.
What?
And it probably will only go up, assuming they sign more contracts or get better prices.
Yeah, or get better prices. So they're trying to do like a price raise by offering like a packaged unit. So that's what the Grace Hopper thing is. That's what they're talking about. So the Hopper is just the GPU, right? But the Grace Hopper is like a package with multiple GPUs, CPU, and like a whole thing that you can install as a unit into a server, and they charge a premium for that. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to raise prices by adding things that extra on top that doesn't require more GPU. How much is the other AI stuff up? AMD's up. Not that
So
much.
what about Corning? Doesn't Corning make the glass chips for the etching for semiconductors? I think that's one of the limiting steps.
This is like buying like a steel company because watches are going up or something. It's not as
Well, yeah, their revenue is up 101%, 88%, 854% sales. So someone's getting this money.
Yeah, but like Corning, so the etching chips, the glass is like the 0.01% of their revenue or something.
Right. But okay, so fair. I was thinking more of like a rate limiting step as in like supply and demand kind of thing.
SML is the only one really.
That is a good company, yeah.
The add-on board partners, the AIB partners like MSI are not good place because NVIDIA famously just like fucks them over all the time. Hard.
What about
They
Xpeng? It's mentioned all
barely-
over the report. You see how they say Xpeng a lot in the
Xpeng
press
uses
release?
NVIDIA in their cars. I mean,
Yeah.
they're a customer. They're not a supplier.
No, I know a lot of cars use NVIDIA, but I'm just saying like it was mentioned a lot in here, so we're gonna be
NVIDIA's
thinking
trying
about
to
it.
make like their card a thing, their GPU a thing inside cars, and it's not going that well, honestly.
At least in the US, there will probably never be enough chips for the number of cars.
Like you look at car sales, it's not that many cars people sell. Even if every single new car uses an NVIDIA chip, it's only like 10 million cars a year, and that's never gonna happen. Auto manufacturers they want to cut to the bone when it comes to parts, and NVIDIA aren't willing to supply discount like AMD is.
And they just announced a share buyback too.
Right.
This is ridiculous.
This is why
They're going to
NVIDIA is not
800 tomorrow.
This is why NVIDIA doesn't do consoles because the margins are too small. It's just not worth the time.
The share buyback size is huge too.
Right?
25
They're gonna have
million?
so much money.
They're just rolling cash. Adjusted EPS is 2.7, so they're at what 2.5 billion shares. So
Yeah, 854% increase. I've never seen that before. Have you? 854% EPS increase.
So they said hold on, I gotta find it. The board approved an additional 25 billion in share repurchases, and they had 4 billion remaining under its share repurchase organization. I don't know if that's
crazy.
In total 25 billion, including the 4 billion. I guess we'll do better.
No, I think it's separate, isn't it?
I think it is separate because they said they had that left and then added 25 billion.
Yeah, it's gonna run more tomorrow.
Let's do some quick math.
How long can this last though? 2025 maybe, I think. I don't know.
So they're buying back like 2% of their shares.
$25 billion. Yeah, it's about 2%. I mean,
That's
if the share price keeps going up, it's less than 2%.
true.
That's true.
But still, like approximately a 2% share buyback is insane.
I want to
I
what
know.
percentage of stock
This is
is
all
in-
unprecedented. I'm just blown away.
It's
I took a nap today at a weird time. I feel like I'm still sleeping.
this kind of growth is insane. What was their not
Exciting?
last
That's how
quarter?
you're gonna say that? Exciting?
No, insane. What was their Q1 like? Not the May quarter, but like the February quarter earnings.
$7 billion in revenue. Or what are you looking for? EPS? Or
Let me check. Hold on.
it was $7 billion in revenue. If that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, and their earnings per share was 65 cents in January. 65 cents. Now it's $2.07.
Right?
Holy, what's
I
like
don't
5 times?
understand. I don't understand.
What the fuck? Last quarter it was 88 cents. Oh my god.
Did you see the timing too? They released the chart first. I was like refreshing the page as they released the press release, and they put that out first.
The high EPS forecast was 2.19. Wow.
So they're buying back 50 million shares if they buy them back for $500 each for the whole 25 billion. They'll
That's
be
like
buying
2%.
back 50. That's yeah. That is it. Damn,
That's
I
what-
said 2%. You were exact. It's 2.1, but round.
Close enough.
The man knows his mathematics.
It's 0.9. Well, I got for percent left 0.9797. So subtracted by hundreds, like.
What I want to know is like how much of their shares, how much of the float is locked up in like ETFs and mutual funds.
Right.
How much is like owned separately in brokerage accounts and
Well,
hedge funds.
I think that's why all this action all week, all this action, despite the bullishness that I felt, I think that was all this short like repositioning, because there's a lot of failure to delivers with a lot of these companies right now. Like I know Walmart had an unprecedented number of failure delivers recently.
Mhm.
Oddly.
I bet there's a lot of shares locked up in options as well, like vesting.
See their forward PE ratio now. If they do same earnings as this, what's the year?
So if they do some earnings, it's about
10, 8, 5,
11, I think.
Oh fuck my number. 47.13 forward PE.
In like the mid 40s, mid high 40s. I mean, no more growth, just maintaining this level. That's why the 250 PE thing, it was always bullshit. People just don't understand how fast it was growing.
We're reporting like they were putting like $5 billion, and they already beat that in Q1.
Yeah, people are
Like,
using
back in
TTM.
2022.
They're just using the previous 12 months, and then like it's being, AMD is way more expensive now, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the actual speculative play is AMD because it's still at like 100 P, even forward.
They said their data center increase was going to be in Q4 of this year. So late Q3 or Q4 is the time around there.
AMD is, I don't know, man. They put out one product so far. So they put out the MI250, which some universities bought it to make a supercomputer, but that's it. Like there was no industry uptake. No industry, no AI developers, no startups bought it. And then they're putting out the next version, which is the MI300 next year. But they already said that it's going to be a low volume production. So I don't know, man. The AMD is kind of flailing.
Yeah, they're a weird one. I don't really know what to think of them.
They're really more of a play on servers, like general servers, because they're taking market share from Intel. Just regular data centers, not AI, just regular data centers.
Yeah, AMD Threadrippers are actually very good server CPUs.
I mean, the AI use AMD server CPUs, but it's not enough volume, right?
Right.
So TSMC and AMD are both just general computing plays. And then Amazon came out with Graviton a few months ago, and they've been offering it on their EC2. And like nobody is using it. It's
they're ARM based.
Yeah, nobody.
Who's using an ARM based processor?
It's crazy. They were touting it was like 3 times more cost effective, cost performance compared to NVIDIA. And like
Technically true.
they did have like these huge discounts on it, and like nobody's using it.
Yeah, like I mean, I'm betting some unsuspecting like smaller companies that actually use EC2 instead of like on-prem tried it out and realized that none of the software they want to run runs on ARM, and it's all x86, and then they just like they switch back.
It's the same thing with well, Tesla's system would be proprietary. They're the only ones who are going to be using it, but Microsoft is supposed to be making one, but who knows? And then pretty much only Google uses their TPUs. Google's actually competitive.
My name is
They're
David,
just
and I'll
like
be your
fuck up
conference
company,
operator
Google.
today. At this time, I'd like to welcome everyone.
Right? I mean, they started this AI shit ahead of everybody else. They've been working on it for a decade. Generative
All
AI.
lines have been placed on
They
mute
have
to
their
prevent
own
any
chips,
background noise.
Earnings
After
and
the
they're
speaker's remarks,
nowhere.
there'll be a question and answer session. If you'd like to ask a question during this time, simply press the star key followed by the number 1 on your telephone keypad. If you'd like to withdraw your question, press star 1 once again.
How do I turn
Thank
it
you,
on?
Simona Jankowski. You may begin your conference.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to NVIDIA's conference call for the second quarter of fiscal 2024. With me today from NVIDIA are Jensen Huang, President and Chief Executive Officer, and Colette Kress, Executive Vice President and Chief Financial Officer. I'd like to remind you that our call is being webcast live on NVIDIA's Investor Relations website. The webcast will be available for replay until the conference call to discuss our financial results for the third quarter of fiscal 2024. The content of today's call is NVIDIA's property. It can be reproduced or transcribed without our prior written consent. During this call, we may make forward-looking statements based on current expectations. These are subject to a number of significant risks and uncertainties, and our actual results may differ materially. For a discussion of factors that could affect our future financial results and business, please refer to the disclosure in today's earnings release, our most recent Forms 10-K and 10-Q, and the reports that we may file on Form 8-K with the Securities and Exchange Commission. All our statements are made as of today, August 23rd, 2023, based on information currently available to us. Except as required by law, we assume no obligation to update any such statements. During this call, we will discuss non-GAAP financial measures. You can find a reconciliation of these non-GAAP financial measures to GAAP financial measures in our commentary, which is posted on our website. And with that, let me turn the call over to Colette.
Hi.
Thanks, Simona. We had an exceptional quarter. Record Q2 revenue of $13.51 billion was up 88% sequentially and up 101% year-on-year, and above our outlook of $11 billion. Let me first start with data center. Record revenue of $10.32 billion was up 141% sequentially and up 171% year-on-year. Data center compute revenue nearly tripled year-on-year, driven primarily by accelerating demand from cloud service providers and large consumer internet companies for our HGX platform, the engine of generative AI and large language models. Major companies including AWS, Google Cloud, Meta, Microsoft Azure, and Oracle Cloud, as well as a growing number of GPU cloud providers, are deploying in volume HGX systems based on our Hopper and Ampere architecture Tensor Core GPUs. Networking revenue almost doubled year-on-year, driven by our end-to-end InfiniBand networking platform, the gold standard for AI. There is tremendous demand for NVIDIA accelerated computing and AI platforms. Our supply partners have been exceptional in ramping capacity to support our needs. Our data center supply chain, including HGX, with 35,000 parts and has been built up over the past decade. We have also developed and qualified additional capacity and suppliers for key steps in the manufacturing process, such as CoWoS packaging. We expect supply to increase each quarter through next year. By geography, data center growth was strongest in the U.S. as customers direct their capital investments to AI and accelerated computing. China demand was within the historical range of 20 to 25% of our data center revenue, including compute and networking solutions. At this time, let me take a moment to address recent reports on the potential for increased regulations on our exports to China. We believe the current regulation is achieving the intended results. Given the strength of demand for our products worldwide, we do not anticipate that additional export restrictions on our data center GPUs, if adopted, would have an immediate material impact to our financial results. However, over the long term, restrictions prohibiting the sale of our data center GPUs to China, if implemented, will result in a permanent loss of an opportunity for the U.S. industry to compete and lead in one of the world's largest markets. Our cloud service providers drove exceptional strong demand for HGX systems in the quarter as they undertake a generational transition to upgrade their data center infrastructure for the new era of accelerated computing AI. The NVIDIA HGX platform is culminating of nearly 2 decades of full stack innovation across silicon, systems, interconnects, networking, software, and algorithms. Instances powered by the NVIDIA H100 Tensor Core GPUs are now generally available at AWS, Microsoft Azure, and several GPU cloud providers, with others on the way shortly. Consumer internet companies also drove the very strong demand. Their investments in data center infrastructure purpose-built for AI are already generating significant returns. For example, Meta recently highlighted that since launching Reels and AI recommendations have driven a more than 24% increase in time spent on Instagram. Enterprises are also racing to deploy generative AI, driving strong consumption of NVIDIA-powered instances in the cloud, as well as demand for on-premise infrastructure. Whether we serve customers in the cloud or on-prem, through partners or direct, their applications can run seamlessly on NVIDIA AI enterprise software with access to our acceleration libraries, pre-trained models, and APIs. We announced a partnership with Snowflake to provide enterprises with accelerated paths to create customized generative AI applications using their own proprietary data, all securely within the Snowflake Data Cloud. With the NVIDIA NeMo platform for developing large language models, enterprises will be able to make custom LLMs for advanced AI services, including chatbots, search, and summarization, right from the Snowflake Data Cloud. Virtually every industry can benefit from generative AI. For example, AI copilots, such as those just announced by Microsoft, can boost the productivity of over 1 billion office workers and tens of millions of software engineers. Millions of professionals in legal services, sales, customer support, and education will be available to leverage AI assistants trained in their fields. AI copilots and assistants are set to create new multi-hundred billion-dollar market opportunities for our customers. We are seeing some of the earliest applications of generative AI in marketing, media, and entertainment. WPP, the world's largest marketing and communication services organization, is developing a content engine using NVIDIA Omniverse to enable artists and designers to integrate generative AI into 3D content creation. WPP designers can create images from text prompts while responsibly trained generative AI tools and content from NVIDIA partners such as Adobe and Getty Images, using NVIDIA Picasso, a foundry for custom generative AI models for visual design. Visual content provider Shutterstock is also using NVIDIA Picasso to build tools and services that enable users to create 3D scene backgrounds with the help of generative AI. We partnered with ServiceNow and Accenture to launch the AI Lighthouse program, fast-tracking the development of enterprise AI capabilities. AI Lighthouse unites the ServiceNow enterprise automation platform and Engine with NVIDIA Accelerated Computing, and with Accenture Consulting and Deployment Services. We are collaborating also with Hugging Face to simplify the creation of new and custom AI models for enterprises. Hugging Face will offer a new service for enterprises to train and tune advanced AI models powered by NVIDIA DGX Cloud. And just yesterday, VMware and NVIDIA announced a major new enterprise offering called VMware Private AI Foundation with NVIDIA, a fully integrated platform featuring AI software and accelerated computing from NVIDIA with multi-cloud software for enterprises running VMware. VMware's hundreds of thousands of enterprise customers will have access to the infrastructure, AI, and cloud management software needed to customize models and run generative AI applications, such as intelligent chatbots, assistance, search, and summarization. We also announced new NVIDIA AI Enterprise Ready servers, featuring the new NVIDIA L40S GPU, built for the industry standard data center server ecosystem, and BlueField 3 DPU data center infrastructure processor. L40S is not limited by CoWoS supply and is shipping to the world's leading server system makers. L40S is a universal data center processor designed for high volume data center scaling out to accelerate the most compute-intensive applications, including AI training and inferencing, 3D design and visualization, video processing, and NVIDIA Omniverse industrial visualization. NVIDIA AI Enterprise Ready servers are fully optimized for VMware Cloud Foundation and Private AI Foundation. Nearly 100 configurations of NVIDIA AI Enterprise Ready servers will soon be available from the world's leading enterprise IT computing companies, including Dell, HPE, and Lenovo. The GH200 Grace Hopper Superchip, which combines our ARM-based Grace CPU with Hopper GPU, entered full production and will be available this quarter in OEM servers. It is also shipping to multiple supercomputing customers, including Los Alamos National Lab and the Swiss National Computing Center. And NVIDIA and SoftBank are collaborating on a platform based on GH200 for generative AI and 5G, 6G applications. The second generation version of our Grace Hopper Superchip with the latest HBM3E memory will be available in Q2 of calendar 2024. We announced the DGX GH200, a new class of large memory AI supercomputer for giant AI language models, recommender systems, and data analytics. This is the first use of the new NVIDIA NVLink switch system, enabling all of its 256 Grace Hopper superchips to work together as one, a huge jump compared to our prior generation connecting just 8 GPUs over NVLink. DGX GH200 systems are expected to be available by the end of the year. Google Cloud, Meta, and Microsoft among the first to gain access. Strong networking growth was driven primarily by InfiniBand infrastructure to connect HGX GPU systems. Thanks to its end-to-end optimization and in-network computing capabilities, InfiniBand delivers more than double the performance of traditional Ethernet for AI. For billions of dollar AI infrastructures, the value from the increased throughput of InfiniBand is worth hundreds of millions and pays for the network. In addition, only InfiniBand can scale to hundreds of thousands of GPUs. It is the network of choice for leading AI practitioners. For Ethernet-based cloud data centers that seek to optimize their AI performance, we announced NVIDIA Spectrum X, an accelerated networking platform designed to optimize Ethernet for AI workloads. Spectrum X couples the Spectrum 4 Ethernet switch with the BlueField 3 DPU, achieving 1.5x better overall AI performance and power efficiency versus traditional Ethernet. BlueField 3 DPU is a major success. It is in qualification with major OEMs and ramping across multiple CSPs and consumer internet companies. Now moving to gaming. Gaming revenue of $2.49 billion was up 11% sequentially and 22% year-on-year. Growth was fueled by GeForce RTX 40 series GPUs for laptops and desktops. End customer demand was solid and consistent with seasonality. We believe global end demand has returned to growth after last year's slowdown. We have a large upgrade opportunity ahead of us. Just 47% of our installed base have upgraded to RTX, and about 20% have a GPU with an RTX 3060 or higher performance. Laptop GPUs posted strong growth in the key back-to-school season, led by RTX 4060 GPUs. NVIDIA's GPU-powered laptops have gained in popularity, and shipments are now outpacing desktop GPUs in several regions around the world. This is likely to shift the seasonality of our overall gaming revenue a bit, with Q2 and Q3 as the stronger quarters of the year, reflecting the back-to-school and holiday build schedules for laptops. In desktop, we launched the GeForce RTX 4060 and the GeForce RTX 4060 Ti GPUs, bringing the Ada Lovelace architecture down to price points as low as $299. The ecosystem RTX and DLSS games continued to expand. 35 new games added to DLSS support, including blockbusters such as Diablo 4 and Baldur's Gate 3. There's now over 330 RTX accelerated games and apps. We are bringing generative AI to games. At Computex, we announced NVIDIA Avatar Cloud Engine, or ACE, for games, a custom AI model foundry service. Developers can use the service to bring intelligence to non-player characters. It harnesses a number of NVIDIA Omniverse and AI technologies, including NeMo, Riva, and Audio 2Face. Now moving to professional visualization. Revenue of $375 million was up 28% sequentially and down 24% year-on-year. The Ada architecture ramp drove strong growth in Q2, rolling out initially in laptop workstations with a refresh of desktop workstations coming in Q3. These will include powerful new RTX systems with up to 4 NVIDIA RTX 6000 GPUs, providing more than 5,800 teraflops of AI performance and 192 gigabytes of GPU memory. They can be configured with NVIDIA AI Enterprise or NVIDIA Omniverse Enterprise. We also announced 3 new desktop workstation GPUs based on the Ada generation. The NVIDIA RTX 5000, 4500, and 4000, offering up to 2x the RT Core throughput and up to 2x faster AI training performance compared to the previous generation. In addition to traditional workloads such as 3D design and content creation, new workloads in generative AI, large language model development, and data science are expanding the opportunity in pro visualization for our RTX technology. One example to SIGGRAPH earlier this month was the conversion of graphics and AI. This is where NVIDIA Omniverse is positioned. Omniverse is OpenUSD's native platform. OpenUSD is a universal interchange that is quickly becoming the standard for the 3D world, much like HTML is the universal language for the 2D internet. Together, Adobe, Apple, Autodesk, Pixar, and NVIDIA formed the Alliance for OpenUSD. Our mission is to accelerate OpenUSD development and adoption. We announced new and upcoming Omniverse Cloud APIs, including RunUSD and ChatUSD, to bring generative AI to OpenUSD workloads. Moving to automotive. Revenue was $253 million, down 15% sequentially and up 15% year-on-year. Solid year-on-year growth was driven by the ramp of self-driving platforms based on the NVIDIA Drive Orin SoC with a number of new energy vehicle makers. The sequential decline reflects lower overall automotive demand, particularly in China. We announced a partnership with MediaTek to bring drivers and passengers new experiences inside the car. MediaTek will develop automotive SoCs and integrate a new product line of NVIDIA GPU chiplets. The partnership covers a wide range of vehicle segments from luxury to entry level. Moving to the rest of the P&L, GAAP gross margins expanded to 70.1% and non-GAAP gross margin to 71.2%, driven by higher data center sales. Our data center products include a significant amount of software and complexity, which is also helping drive our gross margins. Sequential GAAP operating expenses were up 6%, and non-GAAP operating expenses were up 5%, primarily reflecting increased compensation and benefits. We returned approximately $3.4 billion to shareholders in the form of share repurchases and cash dividends. Our board of directors has just approved an additional $25 billion in stock repurchases to add to our remaining $4 billion of authorization as of the end of Q2. Let me turn to the outlook for the third quarter of fiscal 2024. Demand for our data center platform for AI is tremendous and broad-based across industries and customers. Our demand visibility extends into next year. Our supply over the next several quarters will continue to ramp as we lower cycle times and work with our supply partners to add capacity. Additionally, the new L40S GPU will help address the growing demand for many types of workloads, from cloud to enterprise. For Q3, total revenue is expected to be $16 billion, plus or minus 2%. We expect sequential growth to be driven largely by data center, with gaming and ProViz also contributing. GAAP and non-GAAP gross margins are expected to be 71.5% and 72.5%, respectively, plus or minus 50 basis points. GAAP and non-GAAP operating expenses are expected to be approximately $2.95 billion and $2 billion, respectively. GAAP and non-GAAP other income and expenses are expected to be an income of approximately $100 million, excluding gains and losses from non-affiliate investments. GAAP and non-GAAP tax rates are expected to be 14.5%, plus or minus 1%, excluding any discrete items. Further financial details are included in the CFO commentary and other information available on our IR website. In closing, let me highlight some upcoming events for the financial community. We will attend the Jefferies Tech Summit on August 30th in Chicago, the Goldman Sachs Tech Conference on September 5th in San Francisco, the Evercore Semiconductor Conference on September 6th, as well as the Citi Tech Conference on September 7th, both in New York, and the BofA Virtual AI Conference on September 11th. Our earnings call to discuss the results of our third quarter of fiscal 2024 is scheduled for Tuesday, November 21st. Operator, we will now open the call for questions. Could you please poll for questions for us? Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to remind everyone, in order to ask a question, press star, then the number 1 on your telephone keypad. We ask that you please limit yourself to one question. We'll pause for just a moment to compile the Q&A roster. We'll take our first question from Matt Ramsay with TD Cowen. Your line is now open.
Yes, thank you very much. Good afternoon. Obviously, remarkable results. Jensen, I wanted to ask a question of you regarding the really quickly emerging application of large model inference. So I think it's pretty well understood by the majority of investors that you guys have a very much a lockdown share of the training market. A lot of the smaller model inference workloads have been done on ASICs or CPUs in the past, and with many of these GPT and other really large models, there's this new workload that's accelerating super duper quickly on large model inference, and I think your Grace Hopper Superchip products and others are pretty well aligned for that. But could you maybe talk to us about how you're seeing the inference market segment between small model inference and large model inference, and how your product portfolio is positioned for that. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks a lot. So let's take a quick step back. These large language models are pretty phenomenal. It does several things, of course. It has the ability to understand unstructured language. But at its core, what it has learned is the structure of human language, and it has encoded or within it, compressed within it, a large amount of human knowledge that it has learned by the corpuses that it studied. What happens is you create these large language models, and you create as large as you can, and then you derive from it smaller versions of the model, essentially teacher-student models. It's a process called distillation. And so when you see these smaller models, it's very likely the case that they were derived from or distilled from or learned from larger models. Just you have professors and teachers and students and so on and so forth. And you're going to see this going forward. And so you start from a very large model, and it has a large amount of generality and generalization and what's called zero-shot capability. And so for a lot of applications and questions or skills that you haven't trained it specifically on, these large language models miraculously has the capability to perform them. That's what makes it so magical. On the other hand, you would like to have these capabilities in all kinds of computing devices, and so what you do is you distill them down. These smaller models might have excellent capabilities in a particular skill, but they don't generalize as well. They don't have what's called as good zero-shot capabilities, and so they all have their own unique capabilities. But you start from very large models.
Okay, next we'll go to Vivek Arya with BofA Securities. Your line is open.
Thank you. Just had a quick clarification and a question. Colette, if you could please clarify how much incremental supply do you expect to come online in the next year? You think it's 20, 30, 40, 50%? So just any sense of how much supply, because you said it's growing every quarter. And then, Jensen, the question for you is, when we look at the overall hyperscaler spending, that pie is not really growing that much. So what is giving you the confidence that they can continue to carve out more, off that pie for a generative AI? Just give us your sense of, how sustainable is this demand as we look over the next 1 to 2 years. So, if I take your implied Q3 outlook of data center, 12, 13 billion, what does that say about how many servers are already AI accelerated? Where is that going? So just give them confidence that the growth that you are seeing is sustainable into the next 1 to 2 years.
So thanks for that question regarding our supply. Yes, we do expect to continue ramping our supply over the next quarters as well as into next fiscal year. In terms of percent, that's not something that we have here. It is a work across so many different suppliers, so many different parts of building an HGX and many of our other new products that are coming to market. But we are very pleased with both the support that we have with our suppliers and the long time that we have spent with them improving their supply.
The world has something along the lines of about $1 trillion worth of data centers installed in the cloud and enterprise and otherwise. And that $1 trillion of data centers is in the process of transitioning into accelerated computing and generative AI. We're seeing two simultaneous platform shifts at the same time. One is accelerated computing. The reason for that is because it's the most cost-effective, most energy-effective, and the most performant way of doing computing now. And so what you're seeing, and then all of a sudden, enabled by generative AI, enabled by accelerated computing, generative AI came along. And this incredible application now gives everyone two reasons to transition, to do a platform shift from general purpose computing, the classical way of doing computing, to this new way of doing computing, accelerated computing. There's about $1 trillion worth of data centers, call it $250 billion of capital spend each year. You're seeing that data centers around the world are taking that capital spend and focusing it on the two most important trends of computing today, accelerated computing and generative AI. And so I think this is not a near-term thing. This is a long-term industry transition, and we're seeing these two platform shifts happening at the same time.
Next, we go to Stacy Rasgon with Bernstein Research. Your line's open.
Hi, guys. Thanks for taking my question. was wondering, Colette, if you could tell me like how much of data center in the quarter, maybe even the guidance, like systems versus GPU, I'm like DGX versus just the H100. What I'm really trying to get at is how much is like pricing or content, or however you want to define that, versus units actually driving the growth going forward. Can you give us any color around that?
Sure, Stacy. Let me help. Within the quarter, our HGX systems were a very significant part of our data center as well as our data center growth that we had seen. Those include our HGX of our Hopper architecture, but also our Ampere architecture. Yes, we are still selling both of these architectures for in the market. Now, when you think about that, what does that mean from both the systems as a unit, of course, is growing quite substantially, and that is driving in terms of the revenue increases. So both of these things are the drivers of the revenue inside data center. Our DGXs are always a portion of additional systems that we will sell. Those are a great opportunity for enterprise customers and many other different types of customers that we're seeing even in our consumer internet companies. Now, the importance of there is also coming together with software that we sell with our DGXs, but that's a portion of our sales that we're doing. The rest of the GPUs, we have new GPUs coming to market that we talk about, the L40S, and they will add continued growth going forward. But again, the largest driver of our win within this last quarter was definitely the HGX system.
And Stacy, if I could just add something. You say it's H100, and I know you know what your mental image in your mind, but the H100 is 35,000 parts, 70 pounds, nearly 1 trillion transistors in combination. It takes a robot to build, well, many robots to build, because it's 70 pounds to lift, and it takes a supercomputer to test a supercomputer. And so these things are technology marvels, and the manufacturing of them is really intensive. And so I think we call it H100 as if it's a chip that comes off of a fab, but H100s go out really as HGX and Internet World's hyperscalers, and they're really quite large system components, if you will.
Next, we go to Mark Lipacis with Jefferies. Your line is now open.
Hi, thanks for taking my question, and congrats on the success. Jensen, it seems like a key part of the success, your success in the market, is delivering the software ecosystem along with the chip and the hardware platform. And I had a two-part question on this. I was wondering if you could just help us understand, the evolution of your software ecosystem, the critical elements, and is there a way to quantify your lead on this dimension, like how many person years you've invested in building it? And then part two, I was wondering if you would care to share with us your view on what percentage of the value of the NVIDIA platform is hardware differentiation versus software differentiation. Thank you.
Yeah, Mark, I really appreciate your question. Let me see if I could use some metrics. So we have a runtime called NVIDIA AI Enterprise. This is one part of our software stack, and this is if you will, the runtime that just about every company uses for the end-to-end of machine learning, from data processing, the training of any model that you like to do on any framework you like to do, the inference, and the deployment, the scaling out into a data center. It could be a scale out for a hyperscale data center, could be a scale out for enterprise data center, for example, on VMware. You can do this on any of our GPUs. We have hundreds of millions of GPUs in the field, and millions of GPUs in the cloud, in just about every single cloud. It runs in a single GPU configuration, as well as multi-GPU per compute or multi-node. It also has multiple sessions or multiple computing instances per GPU. So from multiple instances per GPU to multiple GPUs, multiple nodes, to entire data center scale. So this runtime called NVIDIA AI Enterprise has something like 4,500 software packages, software libraries, and has something like 10,000 dependencies among each other. And that runtime is, as I mentioned, continuously updated and opted for our install base, for our stack. And that's just one example of what it would take to get accelerated computing to work. The number of code combinations and type of application combinations is really quite insane. And it's taken us 2 decades to get here. But what I would what I would characterize as probably the elements of our company, if you will, are several. I would say number one is architecture. The flexibility, the versatility, and the performance of our architecture makes it possible for us to do all the things I just said. From data processing to training to inference, for pre-processing of the data before you do the inference to the post-processing of the data, tokenizing of languages so that you could then train with it. The amount of the workflow is much more intense than just training or inference. But anyways, that's where we'll focus, and it's fine. But when people actually use these computing systems, it's quite requires a lot of applications. And so the combination of our architecture makes it possible for us to deliver the lowest cost of ownership. And the reason for that is because we accelerate so many different things. The second characteristic of our company is the installed base. You have to ask yourself, why is it that all the software developers come to our platform? And the reason for that is because software developers seek a large installed base so that they can reach the largest number of end users, so that they could build a business or get a return on the investments that they make. And then the third characteristic is reach. We're in the cloud today, both for public-facing cloud, because we have so many customers that use, so many developers and customers that use our platform. CSPs are delighted to put it in the cloud. They use it for internal consumption, to develop and train and to operate recommender systems or search or data processing engines and whatnot, all the way to training and inference. And so we're in the cloud, we're in enterprise. Yesterday we had a very big announcement. It's really worthwhile to take a look at that. VMware is the operating system of the world's enterprise, and we've been working together for several years now, and we're going to bring together we're going to bring generative AI to the world's enterprises, all the way out to the edge. And so reach is another reason, and because of reach, all of the world's system makers are anxious to put NVIDIA's platform in their systems. And so we have a very broad distribution from all of the world OEMs and ODMs and so on and so forth because of our reach. And lastly, because of our scale and velocity. We were able to sustain this really complex stack of software and hardware and networking and compute and across all of these different usage models and different computing environments. And we're able to do all this while accelerating the velocity of our engineering. It seems like we're introducing a new architecture every 2 years. Now we're introducing a new architecture, a new product just about every 6 months. And so these properties make it possible for the ecosystem to build their company and their business on top of us. And so those in combination makes it special.
Next, we'll go to Atif Malik with Citi. Your line's open.
Hi, thank you for taking my question and great job on results and outlook. I have a question on the CoWoS less L40S you guys talked about. Any idea how much of the supply tightness can L40S help with? And if you can talk about the incremental profitability or gross margin contribution from this script. Thank you.
Yeah, Atif, let me take that for you. The L40S is really designed for a different type of application. H100 is designed for large-scale language models and processing just very large models and a great deal of data. And so that's not L40's focus. L40's focus is to be able to fine-tune models, fine-tune pre-trained models, and it'll do that incredibly well. It has a transformer engine. It's got a lot of performance. You can get multiple GPUs in a server. It's designed for hyperscale scale-out, meaning it's easy to install L40S servers into the world's hyperscale data centers. It comes in a standard rack, standard server, and everything about it is standard. And so it's easy to install. L40S also, with the software stack around it, and along with Bluefield 3, and all the work that we did with VMware, and the work that we did with Snowflakes and ServiceNow, and so many other enterprise partners, L40S is designed for the world's enterprise IT systems. And that's the reason why HP, Dell, and Lenovo, and some 20 other system makers building about 100 different configurations of enterprise servers are going to work with us to take generative AI to the world's enterprise. And so L40S is really designed for a different type of scale-out, if you will. It's of course large language models. It's of course generative AI, but it's a different use case. And so the L40S is off to a great start, and in the world's enterprise, and hyperscalers are really clamoring to get L4DS deployed.
Okay, next we'll go to Joe Moore with Morgan Stanley. Your line is now open.
Great, thank you. I guess the thing about these numbers that's so remarkable to me is the amount of demand that remains unfulfilled. Talking to some of your customers, as good as these numbers are, you sort of more than tripled your revenue in a couple of quarters. There's a demand in some cases for multiples of what people are getting. So can you talk about that? How much unfulfilled demand do you think there is? And you talked about visibility extending into next year. Do you have line of sight into when you'll get to see supply-demand equilibrium here?
Yeah, we have excellent visibility through the year and into next year. And we're already planning the next generation infrastructure with the leading CSPs and data center builders. The demand, the easiest way to think about the demand is the world is transitioning from general purpose computing to accelerated computing. That's the easiest way to think about the demand. The best way for companies to increase their throughput, improve their energy efficiency, improve their cost efficiency, is to divert their capital budget to accelerated computing and generative AI. Because by doing that, you're going to offload so much workload off of the CPUs that the available CPUs in your data center will get boosted. And so what you're seeing companies do now is recognizing the tipping point here, recognizing the beginning of this transition, and diverting their capital investment to accelerated computing and generative AI. And so that's probably the easiest way to think about the opportunity ahead of us. This isn't a singular application that is driving the demand, but this is a new computing platform, if you will, a new computing transition that's happening. And data centers all over the world are responding to this and shifting, in a broad-based way.
Okay, next we go to Toshiya Hari with Goldman Sachs. Your line is now open.
Hi, thank you for taking the question. I had one quick clarification question for Colette and then another one for Jensen. Colette, I think last quarter said CSPs were about 40% of your data center revenue, consumer internet 30%, enterprise 30%. Based on your remarks, it sounded like CSPs and consumer internet may have been a larger percentage of your business. If you can kind of clarify that or confirm that, that would be super helpful. And then Jensen, a question for you. Given your position as the key enabler of AI, the breadth of engagements and the visibility you have into customer projects, I'm curious how confident you are that there will be enough applications or use cases for your customers to generate a reasonable return on their investments. I guess I ask the question because there is a concern out there that there could be a bit of a pause in your demand profile in the out years. Curious if there's enough breadth and depth there to support a sustained increase in your data center business going forward. Thank you.
Okay, so thanks, Toshiya, on the question regarding our types of customers that we have in our data center business. And we look at it in terms of combining our compute as well as our networking together. Our CSPs, our large CSPs, are contributing a little bit more than 50% of our revenue within Q2. And the next largest category will be our consumer internet companies. And then the last piece of it will be our enterprise and high-performance computing.
Toshiya, I'm reluctant to guess about the future. And so I'll answer the question from the first principle of computer science perspective. It is recognized for some time now that general purpose computing is just not, and brute forcing general purpose computing, using general purpose computing at scale, is no longer the best way to go forward. It's too energy costly, it's too expensive, and the performance of the applications are too slow. And finally, the world has a new way of doing it. It's called accelerated computing, and what kicked it into turbocharge is generative AI. But accelerated computing could be used for all kinds of different applications that's already in the data center. And by using it, you offload the CPUs, you save a ton of money, an order of magnitude in cost and order of magnitude in energy, and the throughput is higher. And that's what the industry is really responding to. Going forward, the best way to invest in a data center is to divert the capital investment from general purpose computing and focus it on generative AI and accelerated computing. Generative AI provides a new way of generating productivity, a new way of generating new services to offer to your customers, and accelerated computing helps you save money and save power. And the number of applications is well, tons. Lots of developers, lots of applications, lots of libraries. It's ready to be deployed. And so I think the data centers around the world recognize this, that this is the best way to deploy resources, to deploy capital going forward for data centers. This is true for the world's clouds, and you're seeing a whole crop of new GPU specialized cloud service providers. One of the famous ones is CoreWeave, and they're doing incredibly well. But you're seeing the regional GPU specialists, service providers all over the world now. And it's because they all recognize the same thing, that the best way to invest your capital going forward is to put it into accelerated computing and generative AI. We're also seeing that enterprises want to do that. But in order for enterprises to do it, you have to support the management system, the operating system, the security and software-defined data center approach of enterprises, and that's called VMware. And we've been working several years with VMware to make it possible for VMware to support not just the virtualization of CPUs, but the virtualization